What's up guys, my name is Brendan and today we are going to be doing a review and analysis of not a sampler, even though it's Sampler Sunday. We're going to be doing the documentary It's Called Tricking by Jacob Wolfman. This documentary came out the same year I started tricking, so it's super important to me. We're going to just watch it through and I'll be saying all the things I think about it. This is a super important sampler to me. And this documentary was super impactful for me when I started tricking, so I'm super excited to watch it with you guys. So I'm gonna kill the music. We're just gonna get going. It's a very chill documentary. I think the beginning with a Bruce Lee quote is very poignant. Jacob Wolfman did such an amazing job with this. Guys, if you are not following Jacob Wolfman, if you do not know who Jacob Wolfman is, go look him up. Go look him up. He's such an impactful person in the tricking community, and if it wasn't for him, I don't know if mastering tricking would be what it is because of how much this sampler meant to me. Yo, thank you so much for the sub. That means the world to me. Yo, thank you so much for being here, man. Piso Majado. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but thank you so much. Heroic flips. It is true. It is so true. You feel like a superhero when you're tricking. This was so sketchy. The double back over the double full. And it's true. The martial arts kicks are so technical and they've only gotten more technical. Trickers these days are just throwing such crazy things. Like, you'll see a lot of the skills in this video don't compare to the skills of today, and that's just because tricking as a sport has progressed. And that's one thing I want to talk about a lot in this analysis and review is how much tricking has changed throughout time. Because this came out 9 years ago. So we can kind of look back and see how public perception on tricking has changed and the environment within it. Now, I love how dramatic this intro is. 2020 was wild. The world has changed now. For sure, for sure. Tricking is 100% pushing boundaries. All this triple cork is crazy. Big crescent kick, Gumby. With a super good triple. He landed right up, square, stood up right out of it. Oh man. Guys, if you are not aware of Neo Detroit in Michigan, I'm trying to go to that gathering. Go check it out. Matt and the whole crew of Neo is running it, and it's going to be amazing. I think conquering fear is such a giant part of tricking that is underrated and not talked about enough. This was crazy too, this double back. I thought his knee exploded on that landing. The way that knee buckles in scares the crap out of me. I do not understand how Velu has gone this far and is still going so hard. He's an absolute beast. Truly motivational figure, for me at least. I love watching Velu. Oh my god, this bail was so bad. But he was totally fine. He's totally fine, guys. Ugh. But it does make me cringe every time I see a fall like that. Tricking is dangerous. But it is discovering your potential, 100%. Like, many trickers didn't expect themselves to be strong athletes, and then they get good at tricking and they're like, whoa, I'm an athlete now, I'm strong, this is crazy, I feel like a superhero. And that kind of mental progression and growing that confidence is super important. I'm not sure if I would call tricking underground anymore. That is kind of a big difference. Let me know what you guys think, but I'm just not sure if tricking is underground anymore. I think right now it's not an underground sport, but it's now a grassroots sport. And it's always been grassroots, but I don't think it's underground anymore. I think it's kind of elevated within culture. This video does such a good job of highlighting the dichotomy within the tricking community, and the ending does a good job of summing it up, so I'm gonna just save it till then. Because here we get into the good stuff as we travel to the first gathering. Yeah, we're somewhere between underground and mainstream right now. I don't know what the word for that would be, but it would be something. and we are kind of right in that general area. Young Gabby. I think that's Gabby. It's hard to tell when the video is 9 years ago, and this was before I actually met any of these people. For me, these were like fictional characters of this crazy story of the sport, and I started traveling, I met all of them. It was absolutely crazy. Be warned, there's going to be cursing. There's going to be some sketch stuff. Not in this section, but in later sections. I'll give you guys more of a heads up when it comes, but be aware. This definitely shows the classy and the wild side of tricking, for sure. And this whole documentary had an absolutely amazing, musical score. It's so funny, I think tricking kind of broke more out of the breakdancing community and started hugging the martial arts community a lot more after 2011. During 2010 to I'd say 2015, tricking kind of hugged the martial arts community to kind of get more athletes, kind of get it out there as a sport. But before that, it was a lot of breakdancing and other stuff. Oh, Sesh is so unique in each one of his movements. That trick...
To me, it's a blend of several things. Tricking is a blend of just pretty much
wisdom,
martial arts and creativity, basically. People would do
open
forms, and they would get more and more creative, and they had musical forms and extreme forms. And, people didn't want to do the same traditional stuff, so they just kind of started playing around with things. And that's generally when tricking.
That's basically concrete. That's carpet on straight concrete.
Like embryo stage. Right. And then as generations came and went, we just took it further. We started adding more acrobatic elements, things that.
And the way that break fall was so clean. That break fall was so perfect on that cement.
Found out what was possible.
Well done.
Found a way to express ourselves in martial arts.
No, Sesshomaru definitely had a philosophy that was more centered around
it's something fresh, it's something
expression.
Not a lot of people doing it, so it's not corny, or it's not a performance art or anything like that.
He over-rotated just a little bit. If he had opened up the hair sooner, he would have landed it perfectly.
Tricking, for us,
it's rare
who's going
to have too much power.
Show us what tricking is, so you can look at them as a performer and say, boom, that's tricking. Because if someone comes in and they do all flips,
it's a good way to judge.
Even if they are tricking inspired flips, a person from the street is not going to be able to walk by and tell that that's not gymnastics, or tell that that's not circus type stuff.
You got to put it all together.
If you come in and you're just doing mad hands and you're doing mad kicks, then someone's going to be oh, that's martial arts, or what style you take or whatnot. But they're not going to associate it with tricking. No one's really
that speech from Sesshomaru made me a more diverse athlete. I definitely leaned more towards being diverse after hearing all of him talk. After hearing him talk about all of this. So sorry, my voice is kind of gone.
Trying to get the community and the young guys to understand that you can put them together in any type of order to create these,
Cheat 9, Machine Scoot,
interesting type
Albatito, Axe Webster, front sweep, B-twist, hook, touchdown rise, pop flash.
Become what I would call a tricker.
What?
And then you have to figure out a way to express your own ideas and your own type of movement into your combo.
Yeah, it really is about taking your expression and putting it into tricking. And whether you can take skills from Wushu, Taekwondo, breakdancing, capoeira, you can take skills from all of those different disciplines to kind of express yourself. That guy just did the worm. You can do whatever you want. There are really no rules in a tricking battle or competition. Besides do the passes, there's a time limit. Besides that, it's kind of a judge's call. Who do they think is better? Big X out. This also inspired a lot of my editing style to use text as the video is progressing to help people understand the terminology and the language behind tricking. To think he was competing in jeans. For no reason, he was competing in jeans. Oh, let's go, ladies of the tricking community.
tricking?
It's a hard question because tricking I feel like is different to everybody. But for like the mass in general, I feel like it's a mix between just kicks, flips, and twists, and it's martial arts like originated obviously, and it's a mixture of a lot of different styles, and everyone's style is different. So
That's
it's
such
hard
a
to
wild
say
combo.
because, like, some people might have a background from
Very
Taekwondo,
sharp
whereas
kicks.
someone might have a background from Wushu, whereas someone could be a backyard tricker, and everyone's gonna look different doing it, but it's ultimately a lot of the same tricks, just different styles.
You have to give me a camera so you can see the first girl tricker to do it.
No, it's so like important for tricking to kind of accept everybody. Guy,
I'm
girl,
proud to be a
gay,
girl tricker.
straight,
You know, there's not a lot of girls
trans,
who do what we do.
black,
Not a lot
white,
of people
Caucasian,
can say they're girl trickers,
Asian.
you know what I mean? It's
Accepting everybody and
It's
having a
hard to hang,
multicultural,
like, it's
accepting
definitely,
community
like,
is one of my
well, first of
favorite
all, it's a
parts
male-dominated
of this
sport.
community.
I don't know, maybe it's just because I was growing up, like, I hated guys treating me like I was a girl. Like, I do my best to keep up with the dudes. Like, I've been trying, like, mad hard stuff. I've been trying, like, snappy swipes and stuff.
These
Just
days, the
because I wanna
ladies of the
be,
tricking
like,
community
one of the girl trickers
are
who can,
so
like,
good.
just hang with the guys. I don't want to be a girl tricker and
They
be like,
easily
like, oh, I'll
defeat
do this girly stuff.
most
you know,
of the guys
no,
in the
like, I
sport.
wanna be,
The top ladies
like, where
definitely
guys would be
defeat
like,
most of the
"Yo,
guys.
like, that's sick."
And they're getting better and better. Yeah, like there was such a breakdancing kind of vibe to all the battles at this gathering because it was a breakdancing event. You'll see a lot of coin drops, a lot of like those machine scoots. He is one of the few people that's integrating kicks, flips, twists, and a little bit of groundwork, which is really hard to do. Yo, woo moo moo, thank you so much. Sammy was in the tricking community for a long time. I never met her or her coach. That was like an ACL tearing landing. That is scary to see. No, I'd give it to her too. You can't bail like that on such a sus floor. Yeah, you see what I mean with a ton of breakdancing elements, and then she's doing something almost completely different. It would be so hard as a judge to compare these two battlers. No, back at this point, tricking had so much more of a diverse kind of environment in terms of what people were doing and training. Like you'd see one person doing hand forms in the corner, and then the next guy would be doing air flares into like a big suicide drop. And then some other guy would just be doing crazy kicks. It was a ton of different like styles. But nowadays you see a lot more trickers kind of follow Michael Guthrie's kind of style and progression of eventually learning and working towards sheet 9, hook, side swipe, touchdown rise, cork, and or box cutter. That combo structure got so popular, but it was not there in 2011. The sport has changed like crazy since the creation of this documentary.
Thank y'all, everybody showing love.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right. Judges, are you guys ready?
Hold on.
Here we go. Count it out for us, crowd.
They gave it to the coach. I always thought that was funny. I wish I could have seen like all the battle footage and kind of made my own judgment, but I understand that the documentary just kind of had to push forward. Oh, I'm so glad Jacob highlighted open gyms and just training together so much and the community elements to it. Oh my God, Towels has fallen on so many double backs. It's terrifying. Oh, Marvin, I got you. No, I feel that. Like, you can't really define tricking.
Skateboarding when I was a freshman, and that wasn't getting any girls, so I had to like think and get creative. And I always saw people do wall flips.
What a
I went
backstory.
on the internet and typed in how to. Well, actually, I typed in how to be a Super Saiyan, but that got me to a link.
It's a very
on
common
YouTube
backstory, actually.
about tricking, and then addiction, bam.
Oh.
Tricking's like if you got all these thoughts stuck up in your head and you have no way of communicating them through your voice, and then you just get so antsy, and all those kids who are really hyper and like jumping over chairs and shit, it's
That
a
was
way
me.
for them to just let
That was
the
me.
thoughts in their head just
Super
escape
hyper.
through motion.
I resonate a lot with that definition of tricking. I like that definition a lot. I almost like that more than the kicks, flips, and twists, but kicks, flips, and twists is so much easier for normal people to kind of understand what you're talking about.
Water boy. Now K-Air.
Oh, K-Air. What an OG tricker. Tornado kick, hook kick, touchdown rise, cork round, slap, the anger. I get it. Everybody slapped the floor once or twice.
I thought it was cool, but I'm only cool around other people who are weird.
True.
We're all just a bunch of really big nerds who are just got into the same like really cool sport. We all lucked out.
I'm not.
We wanted to be Power Rangers.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we're
It's true, I feel like an anime
we
character.
saw Power Rangers, we're like, I want to be that. I want to be a Power Ranger. So in my head, whenever I'm doing combos, I'm fighting ninjas. I'm
True,
like that kid
true.
from
You gotta be fighting the
I'm
ninjas.
Tom, eating food and just beating up ninjas. That is the biggest dream. That's the fantasy. I know you have it. I know you have it. I know you have it. When you were little, you wanted ninjas to take over your high school, but they weren't good at fighting, and only you.
This is a lot.
Yeah. Only you could beat them up. You saved them. And then that girl, Caitlin Wren, or Ashley Thornton. Oh my gosh! If you had an Ashley Thornton at your high school, you would want to save her.
You're out of your mind.
I'm like 19 now. That was a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, and like 12-year-old towel spot.
At least you know what you're talking about. At least you know what you're talking about. That's not how I envision.
Towels is such a legendary character.
But like at the end, like.
All right, no.
like,
We gotta have last thoughts.
Because you know they would get so good at it. Like all the other people like
Hold on,
don't.
we have last minute film.
I have 1 minute left of footage for this whole weekend, so if you got something to say,
Thoughts of towels.
I don't know.
spit some knowledge.
If you
two should rap battle.
Oh, this is not a fun part. This is where they like hate on parkour.
If you end your
Hardcore.
combos,
That changed a
your
lot too.
double
There's no
full
longer
combos
that
with
like
a hook,
big
it's like
stigma between
you're ending the
parkour and
sentence
tricking.
with
At
a
least I
combo.
don't see it.
Stop it, Danny Graham. Stop it. You have more flow than that. We know you do. No comment. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Parkour sucks.
That's what I'm talking about. Like they go so against parkour. And I don't really understand why.
Not false.
Nah, I just don't really get it as much.
Daniel's gonna start with the next.
Trick America.
Daniel starts.
No, I feel that. I feel that.
One shot, guys. That's all it is.
B-twist, cheat dime, hook, aerial. Whoa. Weird. That was like a backside, or that was like a pot 9.
Austin's gonna answer back.
And like I wonder where these guys are today and if they're still tricking. Like that was a backside 12. That's crazy. Touchdown rise double kick. Where is he now?
I'm Mike Chat. I founded.
Oh, 100%. I think it came from a really negative place, that like aggression between the parkour and tricking community.
Across the world.
And here you see the business and grassroots kind of dichotomy of tricking start to form.
Former Blue Power Ranger, and our focus now is curriculum for schools, and we train a lot of celebrities. J.D. Smith.
Yeah, woo moo moo. It's kind of 100% that. People were kind of angry and kind of hurt that people were mistaking parkour for tricking and tricking for parkour.
Which is a fusion of all different martial arts styles: dance, gymnastics, acrobatics, and the performing arts. It's non-violent. There's no contact. It's all about using martial arts as a tool to develop life skills and leadership training skills.
And like that kind of philosophy ticks off a lot of like traditional martial artists. In the introduction to Michael Guthrie,
Tricking is part of XMA. There are lots of different components to XMA.
who really popped off after this documentary came out.
There's martial art basics.
He progressed so much, so fast right after this came out.
Tricking is an element of martial arts that started in martial arts. Martial artists were the ones who coined the phrase tricking.
Backside 12 out of nowhere on concrete and puzzle mats.
The difference is you can throw flips.
No, he looks very young.
That's gymnastics. If you combine a flip, a rotation,
And so does, well, it's so
jump,
funny. Everybody in the tricking community has kind of gotten older, except for Bailu. He hasn't aged a day. He looks like virtually the same. His facial structure has matured, don't get me wrong, but he definitely is aging like not at all. It's crazy. push-up axe Webster half into this crazy combo. Side swipe, cartwheel, double full, swing gainer. It's so crazy how he was just kind of going back and forth on that tiny little floor doing that simple combo structure. Yes, now we come to the DMV. Let's go. I never got to go to an Epic gathering, and it really breaks my heart because Epic is a foundational gathering in the tricking community in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And if you don't know, I live and am from Maryland. I really wish I could have gone to an Epic.
This isn't parkour! It's tricking, not parkour! Rerunning is dumb and stupid!
Yeah, this is the kind of back and forth that would really drive up that stigma and make people really aggressive with each other regarding tricking or parkour.
Somebody come explain what tricking is. Real fast. Real quick.
JL is such an amazing character in my progression, at least. He really helped me through my ACL tear. Sitting down with him and having a long conversation about recovery really helped me and helped me kind of stay motivated through that process. Bubba.
Is everything. Backflips and front flips. Round-offs, triple flips. And that's it. So thank you. Everyone knows what tricking is here. It's okay.
What you see here is tricking tonight.
I love how this documentary kind of surrounds itself around the definition of what tricking is. I also never trained in that gym, the Fearless gym. The Fearless All-Star gym. Whatever that gym was, it looked sick. Big cork, back sweep, scoot, double cork, sketch gainer to the crowd.
What is tricking? Tricking is, it's creating the most complex, unrealistic attack that you can take.
I love that definition so much. That definition hit me square in the heart because I always tried to incorporate some sort of kick or strike into every combo. A young Javier Macias.
Tricking is a form of...
Javi is also a legendary character in the DMV.
Physical movement,
Flick Flack was used a lot back then. Flick Flack kind of died out.
It's gonna stay
I need to bring back Flick Flack.
But I can see it becoming mainstream.
Yeah, Dante, that definition that JL made, creating the most complex, unrealistic attack possible, is an amazing definition. Oh, I wish I could have trained at an Epic gathering.
I don't really even think that it's about the tricks.
And met Dave Cheatwood. I never got to meet Dave Cheatwood.
5:30 in the morning and they're still
He's crazy hippie.
throwing down because they live for this, because it is their heart and their soul. They can't help it. And for me, tricking is not a sport in any sense of the word.
Resonates.
It's an art. It is
I feel it.
a religious experience. It's like
It is very tribal.
we had druids in the modern day. Show me the difference between druids in a circle and Stonehenge
No, he's going
banging
in.
drums, dancing and expressing themselves, and tricksters in a circle throwing down, dancing, expressing themselves, just feeling the beat. It's all the same. And for me, tricking goes so much further than just throwing crazy moves and getting nuts with it and, impressing all your friends. It's so much deeper than that. It's living life to its fullest and recognizing your full potential.
Ooh, I really like how he
I gotta
ended
tell
with
you, as
that.
soon as you go upside down, you never, ever, ever forget that feeling. Because when you're upside down
Yeah.
in the air, you're not caring about your taxes or your family or taking out your garbage or your job or your finances. You don't care about anything except whether
is
or
the
not
best
you're
form
going
of
to land
escapism
or
that
if you're
I've
going
ever
to
used.
smash your face. That is meditation. Clear your mind.
It is very meditative,
There's a
training,
lot of people
tricking,
out
and
there,
drilling.
like trying to represent tricking, like going to competitions and America's Next Big Whatever and America's Got Talent, blah blah blah. And everybody says the same thing, and this kills me. I'm dead serious, this kills me. Everybody says the same thing.
people walk up to them, they've got the camera in their hand, and they say, what is it that you're doing exactly? And they say, oh, you know, it's kind of a mix between martial arts and gymnastics and breakdancing, you know, and nobody ever says they're tricking. You're tricking. Say you're doing it. Say it so that kids at home know what to type into Google to pull up samplers so that they know to go to Tricks tutorials so that they can do it.
The slow zoom in also
Don't
helps.
be ashamed. Let them know you're tricking because it is none of that. It's everything. You know, it's become its own force.
No, everyone is somewhere between Dave Cheatwood and Mike Chip. I think I'm like dead in the middle. I don't think I really agree with either philosophy too much. I think you got to do a little bit of both. You got to express yourself, but you got to take care of yourself. All those things are really important.
I'm judging. This is how we're going to do it. DJ, let's hit it.
Yo, that's how battles used to be. It was just like one guy, I'm going to be the judge. You two, you guys go ham. At the end, we're going to point to a team. And that's just how it went. These days, battling has really progressed and become more of an industry and more of a spectacle. There's not really a competitive tricking league. The spectacle kind of idea is really filled with adrenaline. I'm gonna try and start a competitive league. I swear, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna take time, but I'm excited to do it. Again, a young Javier. Javi is so good. Oh, and he's still good. Him and Chris Nando recently put out an epic sampler, so you guys should check that out. I can't remember what it's called, but it is an epic sampler. It has all the vibes. No, I can't wait for the gyms to reopen. And they will. They will. We'll all be able to gather like this very soon. Do not worry. Cheese 7 Twist and Cali Roll were so popular back then. I think snapoos have kind of gone out of popularity a little bit as front swings have kind of become dominant. No, it hits my heart wholly too. Like, being able to hear that dichotomy and all the different perspectives of people in this documentary helped me really figure out what I wanted tricking to be for me personally, and that's something everybody needs to figure out. All the kicks. No, these vibes will return very soon. Gatherings will be back.
Why is this the best gathering?
And it's true, nobody really cares who wins most of the time. That hasn't changed.
Not just in tricking, but in life. It's something that you can experience. It's something that you can feel. It's something that you can take with you, you know, wherever you go. That's why we have the bands. That's why you got the refrigerator magnets. You can show it off. It's a memory.
No, I wish I could have gone to an epic. Oh, this was Matt's first dub-dub. God, Matt looks so young. And if you look at videos of me when I first started, I look young too. Everybody gets older. That's just what happens in life. Oh, so clean. So clean. I hope you're popping off at home as hard as I am popping off right here, because that is so good. And it was clean too. Very clean. Then everybody immediately goes to footage. And these days I would say Instagram is kind of the big one for people to quickly share their clips. And there are a lot of like third party, or not third party, but like external social media-esque things like Kojo's Trick Lab and Adrenaline that are hosts of content but with a paywall.
Like I tell people, this makes me happy. I'm passionate about this because it's gotten me through things. You know what I mean? I've spent, you know, like night after night trying to spin and do
JL has such a unique style. He's so good. He's so diverse in his movement.
Like, it has helped me a lot, you know? Especially as a martial artist and giving me confidence and helping me be outgoing.
All that stuff is so important. No, tricking helps you grow up here more than it helps you grow here. Sus. And landings like that will really hurt your Achilles tendon with time.
Hey, why do you trick? You should be able to answer immediately. Someone asks me why I trick, because it makes me happy, and it's my job to spread that, because I'm all about world peace, and I know that sounds like a crazy, far-fetched, like hippie thing to say, but that's what I'm
He's
for.
such a loving dude.
Is going to be pushing that, like, I'm for it. Look at all the integration here.
Rap kicks before rap kicks were a thing. Let's go. True, Reddit is big as well. That is another big one that was not around back in 2011, or at least wasn't as popular.
Everyone gets together. Like this kid. I met him over summer.
Yo, Fat Forehead, very true. Also on Discord. There's a lot of different options these days.
Tricking does more than just, give some people something to do. It literally motivates. It literally brings, cultures together. It brings states and people together that you normally wouldn't see together.
I should make a Mastering Tricking Discord. 100%. I will do that. Eventually. I will get around to it. There's a lot on my to-do list.
Every kind of culture walking together. That don't look right.
True. I love the multiculturalism of tricking.
Personally, I'm not even going to speak for anybody else. I'm just going to speak for myself and say personally what I feel like. This is moving towards peace, and if this is my vessel that I can do something to push it, that's why I work so hard. That's what pushes me. You know what I'm saying? That's really what pushes me.
It's more of a positive thing. Everything's positive.
It's such a positive thing. Tricking is so important, and it is so positive for everybody who gets involved. Yo, Fat Forehead, thank you. Spread that love in tricking. Having trickers being able to connect to each other, like on Twitch, instead of at a gathering, it's all we got right now is Twitch. Once gatherings start coming back, it will be better. So sketchy. I'm so glad no one died. But that was a very sketchy thing to do.
We've proved that.
But he killed it. John Bannock absolutely stomped that double back.
That's gonna kill that sport. I'm tricking over the Olympics. I know it.
I don't know if we want it to be in the Olympics.
Hopefully I'm not dead.
The community is very conflicted on that.
Like you get these world-class gymnasts that now do tricking and free running. Great. But then you've got these guys that, the backyard guys that, oh my gosh, they're so amazingly talented.
Yeah, the backyard trickers will rule the world one day. I am very confident in that. That was such an interesting groundwork transition. Oh, into a very hard fall.
They find a way that they can express themselves, and they put themselves up on YouTube, and they have no money to do anything. They just live to trick, and they work so they can go pay their membership at a gym to go to open gym, right? Or they do it in their backyard. Like, that's amazing. That's great.
No, tricking's not about making money. If you're making money off tricking, you're not tricking. It's just the wrong mentality to have. I don't think you're a tricker.
I get in theory, I understand.
This is that dichotomy I was talking about.
And saying, look, it's not about anything but doing it because you love it. So I get it. Okay, don't do it because you make money, but hey, you know what? I would like to meet you. I can't fly everybody in, right? Wouldn't it just be more fun?
True purpose of the gathering? Yep.
There just needs to be a balance. That's kind of where I fall with it. There needs to be a balance between finding structure and also keeping tricking what tricking should be.
The true purpose of the gathering is to put tricking forward. And a lot of these gatherings, like loop kicks, are trying to well, no, we got to have all these big shows so we can have tricking go forward in life and progress, instead of catering to what trickers need, what they want, what they care about. We're trying to cater to what people who might be interested in tricking care about, but fuck those people, they don't exist yet.
No, 100%. Woo. I think that is the big fear, that tricking will follow gymnastics and get this weird rigged point system, start having this awful bureaucracy and all of that crap. I don't think any of us want that. Fun fact, MGO was my first gathering. It was MGO 2013. This is MGO 2011, if I'm not mistaken.
Tell me when to go.
This is me and John. I'm Vanya.
Or MGO 2010. I hope this doesn't get me banned on Twitch.
Go. 4th of July.
But this is wild. And I do not advocate this behavior. But I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to advocate for it, but I'm not going to deny it. That's kind of where I stand these days.
What, loop kicks? What?
No, I love the freedom of tricking, and I don't want tricking to lose any of that freedom. That is very important to me.
I'm so excited to be at MG. This is probably one of the greatest gatherings
MGO is wild.
ever happened.
There has not been one in years. And I'm not sure if it's going to be coming back after Corona. That is up to the host. My guy Towels.
If you're not at MG, I don't know where you are.
And it's just like a wild party gathering. I wouldn't say there's that much of a skill progressive element. Like there's not really seminars, but there's a lot of people you can talk to about hard things if you want. It's a very kind of just chill. Everybody's sitting around talking for most of the gathering. Wild. And there's always someone tricking and training.
Did you come to
that is the beauty too. And it is in Bluffton, Ohio, or at least it was. It was. The Bean Field. That Bean Field is a classic. An absolute classic. No, I do not think anybody should be tricking with fireworks. I think that is a very, very bad idea. I do not advocate for that behavior in the slightest. But you can't deny it. The video exists, and this is part of the history of tricking.
Tricking is better than sex.
I am the happiest person in the entire world.
Oh, in the barn. So much of NGO was hosted in that barn. And so many crazy tricks were thrown in that barn. It is actually a very accepting, loving, and good place to train and get better. But it's not a great place to grind, if that makes sense.
MG was awesome! Everyone got arrested!
People have gotten arrested.
This has been the most epic week I've had in probably...
I love meeting ACB. He is one of the nicest guys in the community, 100%.
Let's throw that away now. I love fireworks.
No, all of this is bad ideas. But this is part of the tricking community. The tricking community that grew out of Ohio became massive. And if it wasn't for Towel's influence in the beginning, it probably would not exist now. I think that'd be good. I just don't think I would do it justice. I don't think I should be the one to tell the history of tricking. I don't know enough. I'm not educated enough. I'm still too young. Maybe after like 20 years of tricking, I'll go through the history of tricking, but I'm still too uneducated. And so many more people, so much more than me, or know so much more about the history of tricking than I just would not be able to do it true justice, and I would like to do that. I think that would be really cool though. If you feel like you want to make that YouTube channel, you should. We need more content creators within the tricking community. That is a very important thing. I love that shirt Michael Guthrie is wearing right now, that Optimus Prime shirt. I wanted that shirt the second I saw the doc. I was like, whoa, that shirt is sick. I want to be Optimus Prime. Do it, please. Please, link it up when we have the stream. We all need to learn the history of this sport, and it is something that is not being well documented. Kai, what is up? What's up? Today we were watching the, It's Called Tricking. It is a documentary on tricking.
Dojo.
Yeah.
For the West Coast Action Team.
Correct.
That's really exciting.
You came in at a good time. We just got past the sketchy part.
Yes. If it wasn't for this guy, we wouldn't even be a team. In more ways than he knows.
The Ninja Turtles were a giant part of the history of tricking. Like, that's a video in and of itself. How the Ninja Turtles influence tricking today.
It's a beautiful day, yo. It's a sunny day.
Oh, I love this song so much.
Saving up your pay, trying to figure all your funds out. It's kind of funny when you think of all the fun house. Take
I used to listen to this song all the time just to kind of get the vibe of tricking. And this song is also, Summer Days is the name of the song, and it's part of Scotty Skelton sampler as well. No, take your time. There's never any rush. It was amazing for me to meet Chris DeVera at a Euphoria gathering. He was the owner of Loop Kicks for a certain period of time. Loop Kicks has exchanged hands a number of times. I do not know who currently is running and owning the gym and the brand, but they have been in tricking since forever. No, I love the vibe of that song. Well, this documentary came out 9 years ago. It's so amazing that people can travel from all over the world. And if you go to a gathering, there's usually many international guests. Because gatherings are so few and far between, and tricking is so few and far between. Travel is such a big part of the community, and people from all over the world come out. Like, Finland is from, or Belu is from Finland. I can't talk. It's okay, we're making it.
Yeah, soon, in 1 hour or something.
Oh, yo, that's awesome.
I'm nervous, of course, but I'm also
I've never
excited.
made it to a Loop Kicks gathering, but I went to.
See how it goes.
Belu's English has gotten so much better.
He's the man. That's who's gonna win.
I wonder how many times Michael Guthrie and Belu have battled. It has been many battles for sure.
Hi, dog. Oh, yeah.
There is craziness about to happen. There's a bunch of trickers.
ACP is the best hype man.
Night show. It's gonna
He should just have a mic at every gathering and just be in the corner just like shouting out. Oh, I'm feeling it today too, Kai. I am sore. It was hard for me to pull myself out of bed today, but we did it. We got there. And there you'll see a lot of wushu. Oh, the low stands. Oh, that is awesome. Nomi Curve, that is awesome. That is super awesome. Ernie Reyes is another one of those legendary figures within the community. And he wasn't exactly a tricker, but he kind of helped create tricking, if that makes sense. Oh, that double Arabian to your butt, man. I feel for that guy's tailbone. That guy's tailbone just went inside him. Oh. Yo, Tevon, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. Salutations, my guy. Thank you so much, man. It means the world to me that the tricking community supports mastering tricking and subs, and that just means so much. So thank you. Thank you so much. Hand forms were such a big part of tricking in the very beginning, and they died out, and there was a point in time where you'd get so much hate if you did a hand form. I never actually learned hand forms, but I wouldn't mind. Big triple. Giant triple full, right into the crowd. Belu has the best recoveries. He always like worms out in some weird way. And tricking was so sloppy back then. There's a lot more falling, there's a lot more doing a trick to a fall on purpose, kind of, just to recover and then get back up and to continue training. Fat triple cork. And that was back when triple cork was like everything. The knee exploder. His knee was fine, but that landing just sketches me out every single time. I am not a fan of that landing. Yeah, I don't mind seeing hand forms, I just don't know them personally. Ah, that is another knee cruncher. God, Mike is so good at swings. Front swings, back swings, wraps. He is one of the best trickers at just staying on one foot or the other foot and exchanging feet. And it is such a hard thing to do. No, I like the hand stuff that Andy Lee does, but Andy Lee's hand stuff is more wushu based, where you see the hand forms that go like punching and striking like that. That is more karate based. Snafu, hook, touchdown rise, double cork, sketch cork, round off back handspring, kick double full. That is such a weird combo structure. Like, combos were a lot more back and forth back then, and usually involved at least one fall to a recovery. Like, that front sweep he did was a recovery because he under-rotated on the front tuck, but it's hard to see that in the very beginning. USA versus Europe. There's a lot of, like, Team USA versus Team Europe. Oh. I'd love to battle for the USA one day. I think that'd be hype. Box cutters were also a lot more popular back then. That was like the big trick to kind of end everything. Nowadays, it's like shuriken cutter, triple full, or quad even. Like, trickers are just so much better now than they were back then. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's the natural progression of the sport. And I often think that if you look at trickers 20 years from now, they're going to just be way better than you. They're going to be better than I could ever think I could be because they have all the info. They kind of have a structure, a path to follow. So I think I will not be a very good tricker in the history of tricking, but I'm just good for right now because I had a lot of good background. Is box cutter the same as sheep shearer? No, sheep shearer is a double box cutter if I'm not mistaken. But that's like mainstream terminology that is hard for me to follow because there's so many trickers. And so many triggers from so many different communities and countries. Yeah, it was the good old days. Sketch landing. Ah! Sketch full in, back out. That was like straight neck. Ah. Round off, full in, back out, onto your head. He kind of rolled out of it. I feel like his knees took a lot of the impact and he immediately got up and started running around like a maniac. So he's clearly okay. But that's not a fun fall to take. No, I like team battles too. They're fun to watch.
It evolves. Like when you start off, it's all about just learning how to do the thing. You know, after like 21 years of tricking, where I'm at now, it's not necessarily just finding different ways to put my tricks together, but
wisdom.
Just exploring new ideas and effects that tricks have on other tricks, and like
true wisdom.
That's like the next level.
It started as a martial arts. Now it's its own entity. It's grown. And people who can't figure out that it's grown.
This was 9 years ago. It's grown so much since then.
There's no limits. Someone says something's impossible, they're wrong.
I hate it when people say things like, you know, like the golden age of tricks is over and, you know, so much better.
Yeah, people say that, like, and it's only gotten bigger and better. There's always going to be a section of the community that wants it to stay as it was.
All we can do
whatever
is
that was
push limits, push, and, you know, until we break it. You know, take it as far as it possibly can. I think that's where it's going.
Where I see it going, it's interesting because I don't know. Because right now in the tricking world, there's so much debate on what it should become. And ultimately, it's going to evolve however the players decide.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So,
that means the world to me. Thank you so much for subscribing.
Kind of lead the direction, whether they know it or not.
In a few years, I'm seeing a lot.
Yo, Buzz Almighty, I feel that. That's why I think learning how to fall is such an important part of tricking.
I guess something for people to work towards.
Lately, lately years, it's been more twisting, so I think kicking is coming back now.
And kicking did kind of go on the uptick in like 2015.
I would love to see.
And I'd say kicking is still pretty big. Kicking is bigger than it was back then, for sure.
There's a platform for them, and there's an industry where, you know, people are making money. They can do it professionally.
That is a good Elon Musk
There's a lot
quote.
of debate on that. People wanted to
get that tattooed on you somewhere.
Wanted to just remain
just as a reminder.
And it's like, you know, I don't know what's better, really. I don't.
It will either be recognized for the glorious thing that it is, or it will, you know, be neglected and still held very closely in the hearts of a few people. Whatever happens, though, it's fine with me as long as I can keep doing it.
Filming you right now.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about this week?
Learn a lot.
More wisdom.
Being a martial arts tricker in a
it's true
counterculture. It's impressive. It's impressive on both ends to see somebody that can shed themselves entirely of any sort of ego and choose to just express himself through movement. And the other end is to turn that into a career and to make something of it. Got to find a balance, I think.
And I do think it's all about balance. I think it's all about finding balance within the professional and within the grassroots. And that is how tricking will truly grow. I don't think tricking will ever become like a big Olympic traditional like classical sport. I just don't think that's gonna happen. But I do think that a competitive wave will grow. Shout out to everybody who worked on this. Jacob Wolfman, I cannot read all of them. I'm so dyslexic. But Jacob Wolfman did such an amazing job at making this documentary happen. Just thank you to him. Thank you to everybody who helped work on this. This was so impactful for me. And I cannot wait to be able to return to gatherings, be able to come back to the tricking community, and we can make more content like this to inspire more people like I was inspired when I first saw it. So I am super excited. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, check out Jacob Wolfman, go follow him. This was an amazing documentary, and it's still on YouTube if you want to go check it out and rewatch it again and again. I've probably watched it like at least 20 times. But thank you so much for being here. Please have a lovely day and do the best of things. Thank you guys so much.